I do believe we're live, so I'll say, indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. What a dear pleasure it is to have you here again on another conscious evolution, another opportunity for us to consider letting things go, what it takes to let things go, why we should let things go, how can we let things go, why do we let things go. I am not very good at it sometimes. I have found that, especially when, there's a certain energy being received from a potential random stranger on the internet sometimes, that I'll get all up in my feelings, right? And then being in that heightened state, it's so easy to try and remain there, to try and keep that heightened, that energy going, right? Pushing it, pushing it, pushing it, pushing it. And it feels like I'm being called to get very good at that part of my process, right? Be very good at not letting myself spiral into a situation that I would rather not be in, right? Because when you spiral into that situation, it's very easy to start convincing yourself of other things, all right? To convince yourself that there's nothing good there ever, right? That, for instance, right, maybe I experience some negativity and then I can convince myself that there's nothing but negativity, that it's always bad, that it will always be like this, that there will never be a reprieve. When that rarely is the truth. It rarely is the truth. We do have way more good than we do have things that cause us bad experiences. And despite that, I feel like it's one of those Seneca quote kind of things. This, hello, Sienna C, and that boy Clippy. Welcome back. That boy Clippy, you've been here before, right? Look at us, here together. Are you good at letting things go? Are we good at letting things go? Why is it that we hold on so feverishly to experiences that cause us pain? One of my favorite analogies for forgiveness, since we're talking about letting go, is an analogy of a cactus. That when something happens that causes you pain, right? Be it a circumstance, be it a situation you found yourself within, be it the actions of another person, what they did, can be seen as a cactus that they handed you. And then you grabbed onto said cactus mindlessly. And then it hurts, right? And now you're holding that pain and you're losing your mind about it. You're screaming. You're shouting. You're screaming and shouting. However, the only thing that's going to make the pain go away, or at the very least allow the healing process to start, is by letting go of the cactus you've been handed. Right? Right, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. And I feel like that's what letting go is all about, and realizing that you're the one holding the pain, right? And sure, you can be righteous. It's like, how dare they? How dare they give me this thing that hurts me so much? How dare they? I can't believe they did that. I can't believe, couldn't forgive it, because look at how much it's hurting here in my hand right now, and pain and stuff. But no, we need to get good at letting go. Get real good at letting go. Chad is here with us too. Hey Chad, hoe gaan het bij maat? Studio liefde out. Day 2055 looks like a future year. I won't be alive then, but Melt definitely will. Adrian, I definitely will be alive the year 2055. I'll be 57. That's how old my dad is right now. Yeah, I'm gonna be 57. Say it's not so. Say I'll still look 20. Please. Please, 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 please. Please, universe, please. Tell me what I should do. Tell me what's the right food to eat. I'm exercising daily. I mowed lawn this morning. The mow was lawned, but the lawn is not completely mowed. It makes sense when you think about it. It was so wet. It was good temperature. I didn't feel like I was gonna spontaneously combust. I did get nauseous from all the fumes, but like I wasn't gonna spontaneously combust. However, can you see my nails? My nails. I showered. My nails are destroyed, and there's there's stuff between them. There's stuff between the betweens of them. It was rough. It was not fun. It was not fun. I need to let go of that suffering. The sun will shine today, thank goodness. So I'm hoping that it will dry up the grass so I can get the rest of it done. But there's a few things that will cause a man as much frustration as trying to cut wet grass. I was, in fact, losing my mind, right? When you cannot push your mower for more than 20 paces before it goes, basically that's me basically telling you how it was, right? Then you would rather just like fall into the grass and let it take you, right? Eat me, worms. Make me a part of your bodies. Make me a part of the dirt. That's basically how it was this morning. Okay, it was pretty painful. However, it looks better. Parts of it looks better than it did before. I'll say. Yep. The parts of it that was really long, I weed eat it because I couldn't I couldn't push the mower anymore. What usually is a job that takes me about an hour and 20 minutes for the whole lawn, I spent an hour and a half doing like 20% of the lawn. I woke up at 6:30 this morning. I was happy to see that my neighbors were already up. Right. Didn't feel like I was gonna wake them, but geez Louise, somebody save me. I have this running joke that I like to tell about lawn mowing being the real American sport, right? Like that's actually the sport that all Americans participate within, mowing them lawns, right? And am, I've always been on the bench, yeah, yeah. And now finally I'm drafted, right? And I'm getting my ass kicked out there, yo. I'm like, I did not train. I did not train. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Notice the stream topic. Oh boy. What could we be talking about today? Talking about a little bit of everything. Yo, my friend, Chaddy is in the house. Hello, Chad. Ain't no way some of the lawn is mowed. Some of the lawn is mowed, oh. I mowed some lawn. Watch. Adrian, I'll fucking show you. Letting go of things. Yes. Letting go. I need to learn how to let go of all of that embarrassment that I just experienced. I don't know how much I just shared. Now I hear, yes. Jules. Jules, don't laugh at me, bro. I'm already in pain. 6 minutes, you guys. Pain without love. Hello, Joe. You forget something? Thought so. Now repeat what you said the last 6 minutes. Okay, step one. Bye bye. See you again. Barry Bro got carried away talking and he's muted. How did that happen? That's the part that I want to understand. I think you went on mute your side. No. No. Well, kudos to you for sticking around. Me talking to myself. No, repeat what you said. All right, beef jerky? Yes. Is that, tell me what the last thing you heard was. Like, what's the last thing you heard? Last thing that I was replying to was Sam talking about the beef jerky. Someone said flat earth theory. Talked about the bullying. Did you hear the bullying part? Maybe that's good that that was missed. You fucked with the camera, stream went mute, and then it was 6 minutes. Check notes. Apparently, a cosmic apotheosis interspersed with some other streams comments. I hear you, Melt. I hear you, Hoopty Hoops. I'm not muted anymore. I think I touched my screen and then hit my mute button accidentally. Great shame. All right. Someone asked, "Do we have biltong here?" I said no. Comparing beef jerky to biltong is like the equivalent of comparing your local state fair to Disney World, right? Essentially, like, yeah, there's rides, there's overpriced food to eat, but you can expect a certain quality. You know, I don't know if Disney World is quality, but there's at least some finesse that goes into it, right? There's some finesse that goes into biltong, and you will not get the same thing from beef jerky, unfortunately. First time seeing your channel, it was muted, but you're still freaking funny. Hey, Jules, thanks. Thanks, Jules. Thought I was gonna lose your subscription, but here you are. Here you are, subscribing, all right? Yeah, AF. In that 6 minutes, we didn't hear the bully comment on words. Okay, we got Goops, Skibbity, Skewbobs. Great balls of fire. Great balls of fire, Goopsy Goops. It's nice having you here, bro. Always, always nice having you here. It's so nice. Thank you for joining us. Oh, yeah. Yes, I got extensively bullied. And then I grew to become like basically my size. And then the bullying stopped. And then I got very fat. And then the bullying continued. And then I was like, okay, have some fucking little butt. I got so strong that nobody would touch me again. Yes. And then that was basically the end of it. That was like the cliff notes. That was the cliff notes. Got bullied. Was a bully. I was only a bully for like a single year, right? My bully era. When I became like a full ass man, right? I didn't hurt people, right? TBH. My bullying was very much playful, right? There was this one kid, and if I'd called him, I don't think he would say that I bullied him, right? And we became friends in high school, so in that way, I think I'm kind of safe as well. Right? We were actually friends in high school. He was a part of the group of gamer friends that I had made, but he was tiny. He weighed like 90 pounds, right? And I, at that point, weighed 170, right, at 13. So I could just lift him off the ground, right, with his school bag and everything. And he did not like that. And his reaction was funny to me, right, when I would lift him up. Because he had the surname just before mine, so we were always in the same space. But then, you know, I got stopped by a friend of his, and I gained so much respect for his friend, for being willing to stand up to me for him, that I wanted to be friends with them. And that is actually the group of friends that I ended up making, right? So, boom. Yeah, get yourself good. Then I moved schools, so I wasn't in that group of friends anymore. And then I was put back in a space where people were pretty mean. Yeah, I was an easy target. All right, so I get it. I was pretty easy target. Hey, hello, hummingbirds. Nah, Dash just came and said hi to me. Yeah, and then the beef jerky comment. Yeah. I said to Chad, I don't know if you're still here, Chad. I paid. You probably saw me gesturing. I paid 486 rands for like 2 packs of biltong like this big. It was a total of 300 grams. 300 grams, which is 60% of a pound. What's wrong with the imperial system? Yeah, 60% of a pound. I paid 486 rand for. I'd be able to get 3 pounds, right? 10 times. No, not exactly. Maybe like 6 times as much biltong in South Africa as well. So like just the price of it is so much more affordable. Me like PTSD looking at the mute button, making sure I'm not muted again. Oh, pain. He's gonna be funny when he realizes I tried to make fun. At least the comments have been timestamped. It's about 4 minutes now. Jeez. Oh, pain. Yo, Bob's Kababity. Freaking funny. I'm happy to hear that. I'm sure you made many points with broad and important implications. So important and so implications. You're right, Hoopies. It's a great shame. The world will weep this tragedy. Those 6 minutes of me muted, the world will mourn. Right? People one day in the future will track my lips to see if they can extract the extreme wisdom that I had shared in that moment, right? Supercomputers will be directed towards this space. In that 6-minute time, he didn't hear the bully comment onwards. Love is true. Abraham was 100 years old when Isaac was born. Must have been the green smoothies, whatever Abraham was drinking. I need to get some, right? If I can still have kids at 100, that'll be crazy, right? Can you imagine being a dad as a 100-year-old man? Maybe I won't have to imagine, right? I do believe we're going to live a long ass time, right? We're again in the era of humanity that's going to live to 1,000. You might have heard people say 200. I think they're not ambitious enough. Oh yeah, 200? How about 2,000 years? How about that instead? Oh, but Melt, living to 2,000 is gonna be grueling. Yeah. Has any of this not been grueling? Let it gruel. I can gruel. I can. I'll see it through. I will. Can you define your life in one word? I can. I would say eccentric. That would probably be my life described in one word. Eccentric. Pretty eccentric. Was there Dan drama? He sent me a whole novel on Discord, and frankly, I haven't felt like reading it. Yeah, I dared, say something. There was like a whole drama, like a whole odyssey of Dan dramas, right, in the space. And then once he realized that we were as a community starting to get a little bit fed up with it, he stepped away from it, and then he came back, and the first thing he said was something in the line of if you're having a bad day, at least you're not this guy who shat himself on the subway. And he was giving us just unnecessary gory details about the situation, and I was like, oh wow, that doesn't really inspire me to feel like I'm gonna have a better day or something like that, right? And then he fucking went nuclear, right? Lost his mind, God. Lost his mind completely, right? Sent me a bunch of mean messages, right? Let me know that I now owe him money for the gift that is this tripod that he sent to space, right? And that he either wants the tripod or he wants money, right? And this community will not know a moment of rest until he gets his money or whatever, right? He clearly said it was a gift. He even opened his door for me to ask him for more stuff that I never took him up on again. And thank goodness I didn't, because can you imagine if I had more stuff in this house that he had purchased? I like $5,777 for this stuff, whatever, right? And yeah, I just couldn't with it anymore. Gavity goo. I kind of closed channels. I was like, you know what? You clearly do not care about me as a person or about this space enough to not just, be facetious and mean. So I'm just not going to allow you into my mind space anymore. I'm sorry that all of you had to have this into your mind space, but it is a lesson on letting go. That is today's stream topic, Gabby Goose. Like sometimes you got to let go. Right? I really hoped, I really believed that my chill, my swagger, my way of being would be enough to convince another person to relax their own, extremes as well. But that's not exactly how it works. And so I learned. So I learned to let go. I'm so sorry. Like, seriously, Gabs, I'm so sorry that you have to be dragged into it as well. Read the message if you want, but there's gonna be nothing good. I hope he doesn't attack you as well. Like, that's all I hope for, right? Because I don't know what did you do? Like, you weren't even there for any of it. Oh, Jesus. Yes, there was. You can read if you wish, but you probably don't need that energy in your life, Gabs. Yeah, that's the apprehension. I don't want to be cannon fodder for him. He's like done it to everyone. He's done it to Joe. Like anybody that's even remotely, he knows that I respect you a lot, Gabs. So that's probably a part of it as well. Right? He knows that I want to meet you in person one day. So he's like gone out of his way to try and like hurt or in his own words, right? That's one of the last exchanges that we've had. Is he wants to get me to fall to his level, right? He wants me to abandon my principles and fall to his level, right? And we can just roll around in the mud together, he said. And I was like, this is the objective. All right. Well, I don't roll in the mud anymore much, right? So I'm not gonna do that. I hear an accent. Where are you from? Jules? I'm from South Africa. The prudent move would be to block him for now. Then Mr. Hyde has the wheel right now. It's very much, yeah, Mr. Jekyll. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde kind of fractals. Yeah. Mr. Hyde is steering that bus. I feel bad for being absent and not knowing what's going on in the melt space. Been really, really busy. You do not have to feel bad, Gabs. This space is one that appreciates your presence. You do not have to be there for all of the lore, right? Especially when the lore is just like, bruh, why are we doing this? Why can't we let go of things? Like, I feel like the willingness to get mad and then to perpetuate that madness, right? I feel like I can make people mad, definitely, right? I can definitely make people mad. But I never tried to, right? And if I made people mad, I'm very quick to be willing to apologize, to be like, shit, I'm sorry. But I cannot let someone else be quick to forgive me. And that is also something I have to let go of. Learn how to get better at. Yes, we got Hoopy giving us a psalm. Psalm 1, verse 3. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of the water, that bringeth forth the fruit in his season. Yes, as you do. His childhood trauma got triggered and he started getting ugly and disruptive in chat, which only leads to one place. I understand he's hurting, but there's a way he hurts that becomes toxic for us. It's just his willingness to try and drag you into it, right? That he doesn't Like, and he's very vocal about that as well, as he's unwilling to change, right? That there's nothing, he lets you know there's nothing you can say that's going to change how I feel. Nothing, right? And I get that, right? When I was in the depths of depression, I really understand what it's like feeling that way, right? But I never try to destroy the lives of those around me, right? In so many words. And like I think that's one of those things where if you notice someone is like swinging a knife at you, then you better get in your car and leave or something like that, right? Methuselah in the Bible was really old. Wasn't like over 1,000. Goop. Busy is good. Gross. Yes. Hoopy I have. So much to be grateful for. Thank you. No, you. Love is true. Shangalala. I don't see us living that old because benign prostatic hyperplasia is a thing. No matter what you do. Hello, hello. By the way, hello, Shangalala. Give me more context. Maybe maybe this is going to be better, right? Let me see. Because I'm always open to learning, right? And to checking my biases. Can you tell me about benign prostatic hyperplasia? And are there any scientific work being done to try and prevent it? All right, and do double whammy. Benign prostatic hyperplasia is the non-cancerous enlargement of the prostate gland. It occurs as part of the natural aging process, driven primarily by changes in the balance of sex hormones, specifically testosterone, and is a more potent derivative, DHT. Alongside chronic low-grade inflammation and a stromal epithelial cell proliferation. As the prostate grows, it can compress the urethra and obstruct. That feels like a very solvable problem, all right? Maybe it's a hard one, but the scientific work on prevention is alpha blockers, right? 5-alpha reductase inhibitors or minimally invasive surgeries can help as well. Dual target combination strategies. Yeah. There's a bunch. There's a bunch of things being done, right? I can understand that that might be a problem, right? But we know that people can live to 100, right? And if I've paid attention to just how much has happened in the medical industry in the last 20 years, right? CRISPR was discovered in 2010 or something like that. Yeah, CRISPR was discovered in 2010, and just in the last 16 years, we have discovered so many even better tools, technically, right? That I do think will have the chance, especially so with Yamanaka factor, right? Where we'll literally be able to introduce into your prostate a informational system, right? You'll be able to tell it because there's an information theory about aging, right? That the reason your cells age is because they get stuff wrong, right? There is information in your DNA about how things are supposed to be. And if you believe into the more woo-woo side of things, there's information in a field beyond your body even. And then by tapping into that field of information, your cells will start behaving in the way that they're supposed to. There's this interesting study they did. You can go and look this up, where they created cancerous raspberries, right? So they introduced like cells can or plants can get cancer too, and it basically just grows, but it doesn't know what it is. It just grossing, right? Like it looks gross as well, technically, right? And then they made a hologram of a raspberry, right? By shining light through it. And then they projected that light onto that cancerous growth. And then that cancerous growth reverted itself back to being a healthy plant that can produce those healthy berries. Right? So in that way, there's no physical interaction. It's just light carrying the true instruction set, the information as to how it's supposed to be. Right? And in that way, I feel like the amount of discoveries we'll make over the next couple of years are going to be very stark. I don't have to live to 1,000 today. I only have to live to 100 in the next short term. right? And then after that, there will probably be way more. If I can't keep this body alive indefinitely, I'll replace parts of myself, right? Surgery if I have to, uploading my consciousness if it's necessary. No lore. Chicken talk this morning. Yeah. Nah, I made an assessment a while ago that he projects his personal stuff at anyone in order to have someone to go to war with. So I let go, cause I could tell it wasn't about me. Very wise of you, Gabs. Very wise. I feel like I am growing. I'm growing a little bit by a little bit as wise as you. Right, but it's taking me time. Yeah, that tracks. He got angry when I responded to that by loving him harder. Sam, I disagree about that. In general, I don't like people who use psychological terms describing situations and people. Dan was giving resistance. Resistance is a natural part of communication. That I agree with, Hoops. We're not in the habit of dissection. Even so, there were some unanswered questions, and that deserves some time too. It's up to each of us not to give into unhelpful gossip. It's true. Yeah, gossip. Talking about these situations. I think it affects us, right? Because like there is a mind space that we collectively create here. And I think all of us do care. All of us care about the people that have integrated into this mind space with us, right? And that care makes it very hard to let go. And it includes letting go of, as you said, the gossip, the talking about it even. Today's stream topic is about letting go. We changed this space. I wanted to show your friends that as well. Yeah. And there's a bunch of sand paintings. There's a sand painting up there, and back there. You see the sand paintings on the wall, Sam? Those sand paintings. Nice. I didn't understand where you said you're from or your accent. Did you sing it? I like it. Maybe. I do that sometimes. I'm sorry, Jules. I'm from South Africa. I'm from South Africa. I'm from. Me is from South Africa. Dan had something to say, and you never acknowledged that value. I didn't, right? And I remember him letting me know that he wanted to connect with someone on the whole poop fractal, right? That's what he wanted, and I didn't give him what he was looking for because it's hard for me to, right? I feel like I have made it very clear that there are certain things that I don't want to discuss. Chiefly amongst them, literal shit. Right? And I get very like uppity. I can get very uppity in moments like that. And then that kind of puts me in a defensive state where I'm like, nah. And I, again, need to let go of that too. It looks like we're switching gears now, Hoops. Let him get through the rest of the comments. If we don't see any more about a topic, it's dropped. Yeah, I was on my way out as well. Yo, clock is molten. You're seeing it? That's a pretty melty clock, don't you think? Very cool. I feel like it fits the space perfectly. Yeah, that's how I think when eating peppers. It's not hurting me. The hell, Darren? Are you part? Very nice. Thank you. It's nice to meet you too, Jules. Where are you from? You here in Americas? I live in America here with you right now, if that's the case. I'm an Indiana boy. I do like it here. I don't like summer. Nope. Miss me with that shit. I'll wake me up when September ends or something. I get it now. I get it, bros. I'll literally just sleep. I'll go into hibernation like a freaking bear. I'll only come out in winter instead of going to sleep during winter. Maybe I did grow up with a dove. A dove. That's an unusual choice. At least it's not a pigeon, right? People keep falling in love with pigeons, right? Would be an interesting character arc if Darren's mom was one of those ladies that fell in love with a pigeon. And then suddenly there's a Darren, all right? And he's just like eating peppers. Eating peppers without it being too effective. I feel like I'm in a state of like, okay. I feel like I'm only now calming down for the first time, and it's almost like this relaxation washing over me. I was so nauseous this morning. Jeebies. And I got nauseous in the stream as well for a second, but I feel like I'm finally recovered this. Hello to you, Rohit. Hey, hello, welcome. Minnesota and Texas, but I'm in South Dakota now. I love summer. Green Day, Wake Me Up When Summer Ends, great song. I'm a summer girl. I like summer when I can stand it outside. Jules, I don't know if you're also like a small girl, right, where you don't have as much body heat kind of thing, so the warm serves your form kind of thing. But I suffer the heat. I do. I've been having this running joke about building myself a super suit. Right. The very first version will be very rudimentary. It just needs to have pads that connect to small capillaries or small little tubes. Those tubes I can keep expanding. And then I have like little tubes running down and into the back. And then I would have some sort of unit that liquid exchanges, right? Ideally, makes that liquid cold, right, as it runs over my palms and over the soles of my feet, so I can just get rid of the heat. Because I love moving. I love going on adventures. I love experiencing the world. However, experiencing oppressive heat, right, where your body starts being like, oh, I don't like that. I'd rather not. Nee, ek hou van my winter. Ek hou van winter ook. Ek love winter. My Shonkalolobra, we live in South Africa, so we got used to like extreme heat. But that's the thing, Shonkalolobra. I would 17 times out of 20. Right. There's like a 3 in the 20 out there. I would choose South Africa's summer over Indiana summer. Right. And I'm sure the Texas summer is different to South Dakota summer, to Minnesota summer, right? I'm just smack dab in the middle of the Hoosier National Forest. So all of these trees are outputting gangbusters amount of water, which makes the summer feel really oppressive. Whereas like you step outside and it's like, you can feel the air you're breathing, but not in a good way. Hello, Ronit. Love is true. My mom hatched me from an egg. She lived to 21 years old. It was such a chill birdie. Oh, you really did grow up with a dove. 21-year-old dove? I didn't know they could live that long. Your mom hatched it from an egg. Your mom was one of those ladies that was in love with a dove, Darren. I was making a joke, but I actually hit close to home. Yo, Lord Commander, how's it going today? CJ. I'm doing good. How are you feeling, bro? How's your arm doing? I got some stuff done this morning, but I do feel a little bit tired. I feel a little bit drained. I feel good, though, for the most part. I feel like I'm actively letting go of stuff that doesn't serve me. Good night, sweet dreams, run it. Have a good one. Good morning, summer lovers. Good morning, Prairie Wolf. Prairie Wolf is definitely a summer lover, too. She likes gardening and stuff. Texas is hot, South Dakota is windy and hot. Feels like a convection oven. And Minnesota is humid. Yeah. Yeah. Summer. I was out there during winter, right? My wheel got fixed again. I'm super stoked about that. So I will be able to ride it during this fall as it's coming. Right. However, when I had my wheel operational during the the months that it was working for before, it was winter entering spring, right? Like I fell and destroyed my wheel just before summer, right? So maybe I wouldn't have wanted to ride it this whole time, but I can tell you that I didn't. And now that the temperature is finally going to start cooling down again, my wheel will be operational, right? I don't know if I did that to myself on purpose, but I'm stoked about being able to get back out there. Spring and fall is the best, though. I think so. I'm gonna get to see fall for the first time, the way that you have it here in America. That's gonna be cool. Getting to see all of this stuff turn red. I can't even know what I'm gonna expect. It's completely unknown to me. So it's like Durban without the ocean, dude. Yes, exactly, Shangalala. It's literally 100% humidity again today. It was 94 yesterday. It's 100 today. Let me see. I don't think I have my. I don't think I have any. Yeah, let me do it like this. No, 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 no. Okay, okay, okay. It's not too bad. There you go. So it's only 80% humidity right now. Right? Why is it like that? The air quality is good. We got good air quality here. That's the nice thing, at least. Great air quality because of all of the trees. It's just the humidity. Oh my, does it humid? None of this is giving me good information. I think this is good though. It's gonna drop to like 50s at 4. Maybe I can mow then or something. But then as soon as the nighttime comes, the humidity cranks back up again. Pretty wild. Yeah, all right. 94% humidity is not something that I'm used to. I don't know if I'll get used to it. My buttons need to be cleaned again. They're no longer clicky. I hate that. Sweet. But worth it, Stony. Super guru. Hey, Stelio. Welcome, bro. It's nice having you here with us. In spring. Misery has been humid AF. A cicada chorus. Swamp tits. Air like a municipal swimming pool. That's summer here. Yeah. You see all of those things sound like no to me. I'm like, how about no? How about arm is slowly healing? Good day today. Not so cold winter here, so the arm feels the cold drastically. But yeah, it's a good day today. I'm so happy to hear that, CJ. Sending you love, super guru. Much love, fam. Much love to you, Stelio. How are you doing, friend? Everything good with you? How have you been? Have you been letting go of things? Are you holding on to something? Maybe you can tell us what you're holding on to and we can help you let go. Fall in northern Minnesota is beautiful. I'd like to see all of it. I really look forward to getting to see more of America. One of these days. Yeah, all 3 weeks of it, Jules. It was cold. Spring here, the fruit trees didn't flower, so no sour cherries or wild pears for me this year. Even the crab apples are crabby. Crabby crab apples. That is rough. I think it happened here as well. I don't think it happened because of the cold spring. It happened because it was like warming up, fall springing, and then all of the trees were like, oh, it's spring. And then they made their flowers, and then it was like, psych! Psych, it's actually freezing temperatures again. It's actually gonna now snow a little bit again. I got to see the snow fall. I did. It was magical. However, the trees did not think it so magical. They were like, well, guess I'm not making fruit this year. Throws all of their flowers off. Misery equals misery. It does have that kind of twang to it, but worth it, Stony. I've been good, sir, thank you. I'm currently holding on to something. This big bowl of luscious goodness. Cheers. Stelia, you're trying to make me jealous? Huh? Is that what's happening here? Trying to get me to hold on to something too? Is that what's happening? Yes, see. I will super good too. You think you can just super good by yourself? Absolutely unacceptable. Yeah. Yeah. Living in America. I understand. Oh, the hummingbirds are so cute. I understand why America is the way that it is. It makes perfect sense. Yes, sir. Let's go. Yes, look at plants. Look at them. My intention. Love your plants. Thank you, Stelia. I love them plants too. They make me very happy. Breathe in, breathe out sounds. Quickly did a breathwork meditation. Yes. Breathe some fresh air, I did. I'm so happy with this space. It really has been transforming little by little. I hope you friends appreciate it too. There's so many little micro details in the back there that I don't know if you notice. But there's a bunch added there. This mushroom looking like that guy's nose. All right, Papa. Fate being here now. Love the herbs. It has been a great teacher in my life. Mary Jane, I believe, has a very soft and like warm presence. In a way, can be detrimental to my experience as well. I have noticed, right? Like if I have a lot of stuff to get done, I don't need a soft embrace. I don't need that. I don't need to be held onto right now. I need to be out there doing things. However, today's stream topic was about letting go. And the fact that I have already gotten something done at least allows me a little bit more of that letting go energy. I got a bunch of stuff out yesterday, right? We had some bushes that we had pulled. It was actually like a mint bush, technically. It was starting to overgrow. We had a lot of boxes that were starting to pile up. And then this morning was trash day, right? So I filled an entire like big boy trash bag, like a trash bag bigger than the size of me right now, right? So big that I asked the trash guys if I could help them carry it. And they were like, yes, please. Yes, please, sir. I don't want to, use my back any more than I need to kind of thing. I'm like, you're not supposed to lift with your back, Melt. I'm making a joke, okay? But I helped them, put it in there, got the other two bags, our normal trash bag, and then our boxes and bushes trash bag out, and that feels like a great relief. Like literally, Just three full masses of stuff that used to be, some of it on the lawn, technically, but some of it inside the house now being gone. Nice catharsis. Some of the lawn, some of the lawn. I wish I could say all of the lawn was mown this morning. Maybe I need to get a riding lawnmower. Maybe that's the first step. Is it worth it paying someone $1,000 a year to mow your lawn for you versus spending $3,000 on a lawnmower for yourself and then still doing it yourself? I am really juggling. I don't have $1,000 right now, to pay someone to mow our lawn. However, when I do have expendable income, I think that might be something that needs to be done. A whole industry. A whole industry has been created. A whole industry. America's number one pastime. Oh, you got a free Saturday? Guess it's time to mow the lawn. Again. Cool thing about America is you don't have to irrigate your lawns, at least not here. We don't put a drop of water on our lawn, and it's freaking bursting at the seams. I would ask for some less rain, technically. GBs, right? In South Africa, if you don't actively put water on the lawn always, and I mean always, maybe you can like skip it in the summers a little bit, but if you don't put it on the winter, you will literally not have grass. There won't be grass. At least it it will become dirt if you keep it short as well, right? If you've been keeping it short. It's such a stark difference. Right. I feel like in South Africa, lawn mowing is kind of like a less frequent activity. Let's just say it in so many words. Right. It doesn't happen quite as much. And again, I haven't been through a whole year of living in America, but I do believe there's probably gonna be an off season, right? When it starts to snow and stuff, when it gets cold, the grass won't grow as much. But it's like it's something as simple. It's so simple. And the reason, who cares? I like what I see. Love to you, Kimberly. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate the good vibes. I get why the American experience is the way that it is. Right? It doesn't make sense always, but it is stuff as simple as lawn care, right? And the way that it's done. The fact that I have never, right? Like, just think about that. I have never, since coming to America, been anywhere without seeing someone mowing lawns. Not one time. Right? Just think about that. That's something I could go weeks. I could go months without seeing someone mow lawns in South Africa. Not a day. Not one day have I gone out there and not seen lawns being mowed. It it baffles me. It baffles my intellect, right? And again, we can think about it from a perspective of time, right? It is about time. You need time to think for yourself. You need time to research. You need time to see what's out there, to understand the nuance of the changing world. You need time for all of that. And all of that time that you're not spending doing that, right, is time that you lose to what I would consider conscious evolution. Or you lose the opportunity to consciously evolve in that time. You still can, but it's way harder to think about making the world a better place when you're stuck in the process of mowing your own lawn. Right? Literally. It's literally harder to do that. And that's part of the reason why I believe that robots are going to make a bigger difference than we realize. It's not going to make just a difference on the micro level, right? Like the convenience of it, the comfort that it will bring, and it will bring. I think it's going to bring with it an opportunity. It's going to bring with an opportunity. How will we use it? Are we going to use it to connect with other people? The thing that ends up happening is that we find our own people, right? There's something in us that wants to group up with a group of people that we can synchronize with, right? Resonate with. And that's what's happening here too. It happens all the time. What is going to be the thing that wants us to get into spaces? Music is probably going to be a big driver forever, right? Music and pretty things, right? Visuals. Experiences. How can we make those experiences good through participation? The problem is that good experiences without participation or with uneven participation can be made bad. We're trying to solve for such a hard problem. Every single person wants something else. In some way, at least. Or at least wants the same thing differently. Into spaces we go. Melt has a problem with good experiences. Melt wants to create good experiences. Hoopty hoops. I want to create good experiences. But the problem with trying to create good experiences, not the good experience is the problem. The problem with that is the fact that you can not satisfy every single person with the same experience. Right? And I specifically talked about the participation. For example, maybe a game can be a really good experience. A game can be a really good experience, right? You can enjoy it, right? Maybe it can be even more enjoyable if you have teammates. But then it can go straight back to being very not enjoyable when your teammate is actively feeding. Or when your teammate is just standing in base, not participating or adding the effort that is necessary to stave off the attack. Right? Right? So in that way, it's a hard problem. It's a really hard problem. And the only way that we can really get on the same page is if we're all literally on the same page, right? But it's a hard thing where, for example, playing Dota back in the day, you get into these loops of knowing a game can take long. Sometimes you can have a 25-minute game. Sometimes you can have a 3-hour game. That's a real thing, right? And when you're at that level of the game, when you're in that 100-minute plus, right, play, right? You're at max level. You have all the best items. You're like the most powerful version of your hero that it can be, the most powerful version of it. And then they're also that more powerful, and also the creeps are that powerful, right? So you have to be so on it nonstop. And then if you leave at that point, you're extra cooked as a team, right? Because your team will like literally fall apart. They need you, right? At that point, like they need you to win or lose this game, kind of thing. However, if I thought sitting down to play a game that I am going to be able to like knock out a game quickly in 30 minutes, right? Because I have to leave in 45 because I have to be at a job interview, whatever, right? And now suddenly 45 minutes is up, right? I have to leave right now to go to the job interview, but the game is not over. Now you have to leave and abandon your team, right? Right? And that's bad. That doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel good for you as a player. Doesn't feel good for your team, right? And now what was a good experience is suddenly allowing for bad experiences to arise from it as well, right? And that is the hard problem to solve in creating good experiences for people, right? Even this one, even if I create the best experience, maybe because it's the best experience, a person will literally never leave it. They'll just be there all the time. They'll keep it with them while they go to the bathroom. They'll keep it with them while they're eating. They won't engage with anybody else. They'll just have this perfect experience, whatever that is. Whatever that is. Right? So both back to bad, back to problem, back to not being the perfect experience. Right? So I think maybe human interaction is that. Because human interaction has that quality to it, where you do find yourself human experiencing, and then fatigued. You get like, okay, that was great. That was a great experience, being in the human experience of other humans. Now I want to go back to not being there, right? And then you come back to your home. It's like going to a festival and talking to a bunch of other festival goers and just making friends, right? Even if they're very temporary friends, just having that making friends energy. And then you get fatigued. You're like, okay, whoa, I need to not sleep in a tent and be around a bunch of other people sleeping in tents. I need to be in my own home with my own bed and my own shower, whatever, right? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll figure it out. I'm thinking about it. That's what I think about it. So what's your favorite festival? Festival is my favorite. Kimberly Murphy, I know it's different. Festival to festival is different. There are different energies. There are different types of people that go there. Different music attracts different people. Different BPMs allow for different experiences, right? Let's call it. So it does matter what festival, but I personally like progressive psychedelic trance, but all sorts, as you said. I've been to drum and bass festivals. I've been to piano festivals. Those were the hardest, right? I guess I don't like the music. However, I still like the people. People are still neat. People are very cool, very interesting, all right? Every person is a whole world, right? Like we're so obsessed about meeting aliens. However, every person is an alien to you when you first meet them, right? You get to find out what they do in their world, how they do it in their world. Maybe they use a different type of shampoo than you do. Maybe they use a different toothbrush, toothpaste, right? Different cologne. Maybe you smell something you've never smelled before. Barbecue festivals. I don't know what that one is. I'm just imagining a bunch of dudes, but instead of them being DJs, they have big barbecues. And then everybody is just standing around fucking... Like, there's meat being barbecued. There's barbecuing meat. Everybody losing their minds. Everybody getting a piece of barbecue. CJ, I love it. You know what? Let's do it. We can do it. We can do that too. Oh, let me get back to chat. I do feel like the festival environment, and again, we're seeing so much Yasibo bossiness with festivals. I think American festivals, the 80,000 people festivals, I think, I don't know about that. I think Woodstock made the idea of so many people coming to the same place, it like glamorized what can happen, right? The experience that can be had. However, I am nervous. I'm pretty nervous. I'm pretty awkward, despite what I might seem like. I'm pretty nervous and awkward. And being around 500 people at a festival space is a experientially different experience than going to a 2,000 plus and then 5,000 plus festival. Like it's almost like there's less room for you to think the more people there are. And maybe that's a good thing for some people. Maybe some people like that. However, I get more nervous if I don't think. It's almost like I don't know how I'm basing myself in my reality. And maybe you experience the same. It's something that I need to get good at, right? Quieting that mind part of myself as well. Letting go. Oh, there's today's lesson. Yeah. Yeah, getting good at letting go is really the best way to do it. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. I think I'm way behind on comments, but I'm gonna go all the way back and be there for all of you friends. Every day is a day to see new parts of America. I'm not sure what more or someday will be for you, which you want it to be. It's just the ability to almost like go down the roads, right? Something as simple as that. Uh, Let me see this. How long would it take me to go down every single American road? I don't even have to go into the buildings, right? I would I would be a kid in a candy shop, all right, just enamored with all of the options and flavors, just sitting in a vehicle, driving every street. However, there's 4.2 million miles in America, and it would take me 93,000 hours if I started driving them right now at 45 miles an hour, which means it would be 3,888 straight days of 24-hour driving, right? And I'm gonna, if I'm allowed to do that, that's nothing. That's just 40 years, right? I'm planning on living 1,000. 40 years, easy peasy, right? That's like 5% of my lifetime. Yeah, I spent 5% of my life driving every single road of America because they let me. I bought this machine that will basically do most of the driving for me, and it has batteries, right? Everywhere I go, I make sure to stop at places that have solar panels, right? And then I put my car down, and then I get on another battery powered vehicle called an EUC, and then I just explore, and then I get back in the car, right? It's probably going to take me like 80 years to do it with the extra year I'll spend between the years just exploring the places, right? But yeah, that'll be fun. That sounds like a great experience. We can do that, right? And ideally, I have the whole camera system kind of like decked out around the vehicle so that you can, through your power, right, almost like using your cell phone to like look around, you can look around. You can like detach it from the internal view that shares this experience of mine. And then you can like look around for yourself, right? Maybe we're driving through some mountains and you just want to like stare at the mountains while I do too. Maybe I'm in dead silence, enamored just of how pretty the mountains is with you. That's kind of the experience that I'm building towards. I don't know how long it's going to take me, but what I do know is that we are capable of manifesting anything. There is no reality unmanifestable to you. And that sounds doable to me, right? Feels very, very achievable. And I probably won't, of course, just like try and drive every single road just for the sake of it. I probably will create for myself a type of game plan, squiggly and squabbly, zig and zag, through spaces. But yeah, going and exploring, going and seeing, right? Letting life be my perspective widener. Because I feel like I understand that it's expensive doing that, right? Considering that I'm driving an electric vehicle and electricity is only like max 20 cents a kilowatt hour, how much would it cost me to travel that whole space? Assuming that I get like 5 miles per kilowatt hour as well, efficiency. That's very optimistic. You probably won't get electricity that cheap everywhere or that level of efficiency, but yours, even at that, means that I'll be spending $170,000. $170,000 of pretty affordable energy just to do that. That's crazy. That's crazy. However, maybe worth it. Maybe if I share, that whole experience with the internet will be like, yeah, justifiable. I get it. It is over 40 years of my life, right? So 40 years for $170,000. What's that per year? Don't judge me. Don't judge me for not doing the math myself. I can't be bothered. That's like 5 grand a year max. More reasonable again. All right, 5 grand a year. Still not a little amount of money. That's a lot. But that does almost track. All right, that does almost actually make sense of how much you would be paying. Problem is you're gonna have to, charge. It's gonna be a lot of time spent down. Maybe again, that is the opportunity to go and, micro adventure. Go and meet the people and the place that you stop. Abend good sir, bless you again, studio. Super guruing it up in the space, bro. Every day is a day. True again, I've said that one. Hoopy, bless you, friend. Yeah, speaking of my plans, my day is also done. Have a good one, Changololo, bro. I hope you're chillaxing, bro. We appreciate you, man, truly. I tend to surf, but love seeing you and the community these past mornings. Stilio, I hope you don't surf less because you're in this space. That's the thing, right? I don't want that either. Maybe you could start sharing yourself surfing, all right, alongside me. Right, not in this space, but maybe in your own space, right? Showing up in these little micro communities. The only way you know if we notice is if we said something to you, I think. Do you have psychic powers? I'd like to believe we all do. I'd like to believe we all have psychic powers. I just don't think we know how to use them or how to trust them, if to trust them, when to trust them. Chores, then puff. That's what I do. Grasshopper. That's better. Chores, then puff is right. Get a scythe and swing. I was literally thinking about a scythe, actually, very well. I was thinking I would love a scythe, right? I think a scythe would be a better tool for the job than a lawnmower in many instances, actually. Especially with the slopes. Maybe the slopes might be harder, but it looks fun. I've seen people take out big swaths of grass with a scythe. Darren, squats help me let go of gravity. Squats are great exercises. Like doing 10 to 20 squats will do more for your body's ability to metabolize energy and, draw glucose into your legs than a 30-minute walk. Right? So you've heard of go for a walk after you've eaten. Maybe you don't have 30 minutes. Doing 10 to 20 squats will do most of what that 30-minute walk would have done for you. Yeah, hacks. It's a little bit awkward. Joe will literally see me eat something, high carb, and then I will just do squats about it. I'll stand up from the table, next to the table, and do 30 squats. I'm sure it looks insane. She does it with me sometimes. Joe can out-squat me by a lot. Right. Joe will do like 80 squats in a session. Maybe not 80. I think I've seen her do more than 60 in a single session. It's impressive. I don't have anything against Mary Jane, but I stopped about 10 years ago. It's illegal in Australia, and I had much more things to do with my life that required me to be sober to do them. And I respect that, CJ. Thank you for showing that that is also something that you can do and still live a happy life. I think that is almost like the chapter of life that I might be entering very soon as well. It is something that I feel I've had a great deal of experience with, right? I know what is there for me in that. I understand what it does for me as a person and for my ability to open up in certain ways and reduce my anxieties, turn a little bit quiet that extremely hypercritical version that's in the back of my brain. But as you said, right, if you're welding, for example, hypercritical is exactly what you want to be. Right, and it's something as simple as that. Like, it's something that I would even be willing to do. Probably won't become a welder in America. That is a skill set that I have. Not a very trained one, but at least the fundamentals of one, so that I can, you know, I can make something stay together, right? Will it be pretty? Probably not. Will it be thorough? Absolutely. Metal will be put down. Iso, you okay, Bob? Yeah, good burp. Let me get back to chat. Iso, chillax. Man, there is a lot that I still have missed. I'm gonna try and catch up with it. America's number one pastime is recreational human relocation. Yeah, there's a lot of driving in America. I get it. I get it though. That's the thing. America is pretty drivable. You want to drive America. That's the thing. You want to see America because there's just so much of it. It's like it's unfathomable. I cannot fathom it. I'm trying. I'm failing. Yeah, looks like we're growing. Lava lamp's cute. Thank you. Is it working yet? Has it moved? I forgot to turn it back on again earlier. I should have turned it on when I went out to lawn mow, but I didn't. I had other priorities. Imagination can work wonders. Exactly. What did Jesus say? You are the children in the marketplace who play while the adults are at work, as in they don't fucking pay attention. Well, sometimes people or things are out of reach. That's also a part of it. Trying to one up time. Melt seems to play at trying to one up time. That's pretty funny, Hoopy. I kind of like that. Am I trying to one up time? It's like you think you can get the best of me time. Not even close. I got another ace in my pocket. You didn't think it was gonna come out. It's like time is like we're not playing poker. It's like, yep, I got two aces, right? Which means that I have the better hand. Who cares? Love's true. Or hiding feeling. We are lonely. We are lonely. We all are here watching you. Love is true, Kimberly. It makes me happy to share this moment. MeltMore TV. Yeah, hoops. I'm gonna have some MeltMore TV. It's moving. Yeah. I look forward to it. Hoopy, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be wonderful. Do tomatoes belong on garlic bread? The universe asks. Only if you add some balsamic vinegar. But yes. Yes, it does. If you can grow a tomato, you a bad man. I have some tomato seeds ready to be grown. I bought these really nice purple-esque and bunches of ridges. It's a type of heirloom tomato. Delicious. And I saved a lot of the seeds. So I look forward to being able to grow some of those. I've slept under trees. Yeah, that's where you want to sleep if you're in a tent. Trees is like you want to be there first, so you get a tree, kind of thing. The sacrifice is never acknowledged. It never will be, right? However, the results will still be appreciated, at the very least by yourself. I'd like to believe, right? You get to be the one. You get to acknowledge your own sacrifices. Ever been in one of those liminal spaces? I've been in a float tank, but never in a liminal space. I've been in an experience, mentally, right, that is indistinguishable from reality. That is kind of like a liminal space, where it's like a space, but you know that that space doesn't exist, kind of thing. Or at least not in the way that spaces in this world exists. So I don't know if that's what you mean, but yeah. I can go into those. Our friends have heard the stories of them too. His art is being leave him alone. Love is true. Thank you for listening to my heart. I've seen Indian festivals on Facebook. They seem very loud. Yeah, that's also the other problem, right? I love loud music, but there is something like too loud. There is such a thing, right? Like there is. And I don't like it. Like too loud is too loud. However, but loud is still loud, right? And you want it loud. but you don't want it too loud. And there's a very fine line because if you have been very close to the right loud speakers, then right loud will not be right loud to you anymore, and you would want just a little bit louder than right loud, so that you can get right loud again in your ears. And then before you know it, everybody else is getting wrong louded. You know, ask me how I know. I've been at festivals where that's the case, and I hate it. I don't like it at all. It's very rough. You want to leave the dance floor, literally. We should do a Chick-fil-A festival. Everybody gets a Chick-fil-A and then stands around eating it. And then the festival's over. And there's a bunch of brave souls that goes for a second, Chick-fil-A, and then they stand around and eat it. And then there's braver souls yet. Let's get through Chick-fil-A. Imagine a bunch of two-way assholes all lined up with their ridiculous pellet smokers arguing about what brand of smokehouse sauce is better than the other. That's a barbecue festival. That's awesome. I'm sure they have like tons of fun. Melt, you are valued for all you do. Thank you, bro. I'm sending you love. Do I always need to mention gravity, Jules? Of course. Jules is like, don't forget the beers. It's just like, of course there's beer. Just like this gravity. You know, how do you think the barbecue steaks are staying on the grill? Over every single American roadhouse. That's insane. I realize no one's asking. Gonna live to 700 years at least. There you go. Bhakti beat. That's me too. You see that? Me too. Bhakti knows. He's gonna live to 700 years at least. You see, he has set that limit for himself. And now his soul has an endpoint. Mine is at least 1,000 years, right? I'm not saying I won't be open to living 20,000. Hey, I'm not saying that. But at least 1,000, right? If I die before 1,000, I'm gonna have to come back and try again. You know? You can get a high score. I used to not want to live. Now I'm living because I didn't want to live. It's like, I'll freaking show you life. Won't live? No, I'm gonna embrace this experience fully. Right? I won't let go unless life lets go first. That's about that. Don't let go, life. Like that, Mel. You should be on those roads on your unicycle. Then get back to us. I've been on them roads with my unicycle, Nancy. It just doesn't have the range. And my charging rate is really slow, right? My current charger can only charge my wheel up to 100% again in like 7 to 8-ish hours, right? And then I only get to travel 35 miles at the speeds that I ride, right? So that's a bit of a bottleneck, right? That would take my time up to close to 1,000 years. I'll have to spend probably more than 1,000 years doing it, and that's too much. That's too much to the bit, right? I can commit to the bit. I can commit like 40 years. I'll do that. But 1,000 years to the bit, to that bit, the driving all of the roads of America bit. That's a bit extra, right? I know I'm extra, but I'm not that extra. Okay. You look like the CEO on holiday in Hawaii. That's awesome. That's exactly what's happening. Yep. I'm like a future CEO, right? On holiday from my existence that will come later. That makes sense. I'm resting in advance. Oh, I love that. Thanks. If we lost electricity, could you drive your car? Yes. Anybody that has a solar array on their building has local electricity, right? Most of these buildings, especially the industrial ones, have like big battery banks locally as well. So if we do lose electricity, I don't know if they'd be willing to share their electricity with me, of course, right? But there's probably going to be way more pandemonium than we can expect, right? Like things will go sicko mode really quickly, probably. And in that way, I would be willing to make friends. GBs, will I make friends? I'll be Friendomatic 5000. Everybody gonna be my friend because we gotta survive this, yos. This gonna be survived. You think this can be the best of us? We're human beings, so there's been catastrophes. There used to be freaking dinosaurs on this planet. I don't think we were around for those. But this is nothing. Some not having electricity. Maybe Bigfoot's gonna come out. Actual CEOs live in and own their own Hawaii Islands ghost. Hey, I don't put it past myself. Maybe, right? Having my own Hawaii island. I don't think that's how it works. I think Hawaii, maybe there's like micro islands, right, around it. I probably would have my mind float, right? Having the island be stuck. My island would be able to move, of course. Of course it must move. How are we gonna see everything else on the coastlines? Sam is right. Yeah. Larry Ellison, owner of Oracle, owns his own damn goddamn Hawaii island. That's so extra, which is pretty good. Because if you're socially handicapped with a name like Larry, almost as bad as Keith, I must go. Had a nice time with y'all. Have a wonderful day. Jules, thank you for joining us. I am a warrior. Good. Jim, that's original. Congratulations. I hope you've bagged a lot of booties. Hi, how are you? Love is true. Okay. Making it harder to bag a booty. It's August, man. Booty acquisition is sweaty this time of year. Uh, are our social influences teaching us good and bad? I don't think that's what divides the world. I think experience is the differentiator, right? I am sharing from my own experience, very much so. But I haven't met a single person that loves when one of their teammates doesn't participate in the game, right? I've not met a single person that's like, oh, yes, I love that. And I've never met a single person that when they're committed to something and circumstances makes them have to leave it behind are stoked about that either, right? And maybe I'm quantifying, right? Labeling that experience as a bad one. It's suffering, right? It's not, it's one thing for things to be differently, is you want that person to be differently, or you want things to have gone differently, for you have to have won the game and got it over with before you had to leave, kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Have I been taught that, or is it my own experience? It's hard to say sometimes, right? Nor Sir Mix-a-Lot popped into my head. Sir Mix-a-Lot. Hope to not let go of good friends. Oh yeah, need money. Trades. Welding is a good choice, exactly. Seems like it could be uncomfortable though, and also bad for your eyes. Despite the fact that you're looking through a helmet. Not good for your eyes, unfortunately. Sir Mix-a-Lot was just standing on Dr. Brian May's shoulder. Girls with larger than average postures have been known to make the rockin' world go round since 1978. Get on your bikes and ride. Man, gee, that sounds hard. Could be uncomfortable though. The welding or the riding my EUC, that will also be uncomfortable. The EUC goes in the back of the car, right? So that when you get to the place where you're charging, you don't just have to sit in your car. You can go and explore the place as you're waiting, right? That's at least for me the dream. I was born, and here I am. I did not choose. I was born, and here I am. You don't think you chose? I don't know, Hoopy. Like, I'm not saying you should know. I'm just saying that I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I think there's the ego part of us, the hubris that wants to believe we chose, right? There's like, it's like not just like thrusted upon us. There's like a little bit of you being like, yeah, I chose this experience. I chose this. I chose this hair, right? I had like a lexicon. I could be like, chose eye colors. I could choose faces. Maybe I didn't get to choose. Maybe I just got to choose what kind of family I went with. Did I like the way my mom and dad looked? I was like, yeah, they look nice. They look like they could be. They were, in fact, pretty nice, actually. They were pretty nice. They were still young, right? So they made mistakes. They were also from a world that made mistakes before them, right? And so it be. So I be learning from them still to this day, right? And I would like to believe that I chose. I'd like to believe that I'm choosing at the very least. I am just, right? I'm not just, I was born and here I am. Like, yes, I am. But then, what is the consequence of that being? What is made of it? What can I make during it? That's a fun one. Yeah, making and creating. Realizing that you have been imbued with that power to create things that don't exist. Pretty neat. And with the future as it's like arriving, you'll be able to create as fast as you can imagine. Eventually. As fast as you can imagine things. Never mind even blood, sweat, and tearing to build something, right? As fast as you can imagine something, it's being built right in front of you. Let's go. Let's go, Nancy. It's happening. Some people are using balcony solar panels to help to defer utility costs. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the solar will get cheaper and cheaper. Right? They might not get that much cheaper, but they'll get a lot cheaper here in America as soon as the American manufacturing catches up with what's already available out there. We are kind of hitting a cost floor a little bit, I think. But there's new technology coming out. Perovskite's coming out. That can be cheaper again by a little bit of a margin. And then we just have to boost the efficiency. So you might end up paying the same amount for the panels, but how efficient they are will slowly tick upwards, which is also pretty exciting. All right. And eventually, you'll get yourself solar panels on your roof, and they will stay there for 45 years. And they will create all the energy and then some that home will ever use. And it's going to be glorious. Yes, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to definitely be a big game changer for how people see being on the grid, right? Like, just the tech is so that cheap, right, that it's a no-brainer. It's like, yeah, obviously we're going to put some solars and some batteries. It's easier doing it that way than, tracking, digging, trenching, forbid, or just like running over poles, electricity to some new place. It's going to make more and more sense to just have batteries there. Water is a challenge. But dehumidifier tech is pretty old at this point, and you can capture the water. I'm imagining that we're going to get better and better at building into cavities. I like to think, at least. And then using those cavities as our loop as well, right, to help condition our buildings. Yeah, I see it in my mind, but I don't know what it's going to look like. So many of the spaces have already been built, right? There are billions of people living in billions of homes. Those homes are built, right? Building more billions of homes, tall task. And there might not be as many billions of people to live in them in our future. We can recreate spaces. We've been doing that all the time. But it is going to be a hard sell. I wouldn't want to be the person that decides a building gets exploded to make a new one because it's better, right? For sure, the battery storage technology has come a long way. Just hook up some panels and you can get a good amount daily, especially with sodium. Sodium ion is becoming the new kid on the block, right? CATL, the number one. biggest battery company on the planet, right? They make metric tons of batteries, probably daily at this point, right? Yeah, literally daily. They have created sodium-ion batteries that are cheaper to manufacture, have like they do self-discharge. That's the one thing that's a little bit meh. But if you're using them daily as solar, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if they self-discharge. And then they have linear curves instead of like a lip to get it to like the 4.3 voltage range or whatever, and then stays around that, right? So it's a little bit easier to manage and understand how your batteries work. And then their amount of like charge that they can take, the amount of energy you can put in them is also so much more vast than the amount of energy you can pull out of them without hurting them. The internal resistance is very low, right? So, and that exists, right? Like, let me see. The exact article would go something like that. The new CATL sodium ion batteries that were revealed like a week ago, what's the price going to be like per kilowatt hour? And maybe some general price specs about the input cost. Yeah, $53 a kilowatt hour. That is very cheap. I don't know if it makes sense. A kilowatt hour is the amount of energy a battery can store, right? It's 1,000 watts that it can sustain an output for an hour, right? So if you want to think about like your kettle, your kettle might use 1,000 watts, right? If you have a 1,000 watt kettle. And then if you put that button, you click that button, the timer starts on that battery. And if it has a 1 kilowatt hour storage, it'll be able to run that button as it has been clicked for a whole hour. Boil water, boil water, boil water, right? So being able to pay $53 for a whole kilowatt hours of storage, like that's a lot. 10 kilowatt hours, between 10 and 20 kilowatt hours is more than enough for a whole house, right? So that's $500 to $1,000. That's nothing, right? In the grand scheme of things, nothing. Of course, that's just the batteries, right? That's probably not after you've put them in the packs and stuff. But that is bonkers. Input costs and raw materials. The abundance of sodium. Sodium carbonate is radically cheaper and orders of magnitude more abundant than lithium carbonate, bypassing exposure to brutal price swings seen in the lithium, brine, and hard rock mining. Anode shifts. Sodium-ion architecture eliminates the need for expensive copper coil at the anode, replacing it with cheaper aluminum foil. And then the remaining bottlenecks is the primary cost driver, currently holding back even lower input costs is hard carbon anode, which accounts for a disproportionate share of the cell's material cost. Yeah, hard carbon anodes. So as we get better at carbon capture as well, we'll have more carbon, right? We'll have incentives to build industries that heal our planet so that we can build better batteries for cheaper. Yeah. It's happening. It's happening. The future is coming. The future is here. It's just not equally distributed, right? If all of the future that we have available to us everywhere on the planet simultaneously was just available to every single person immediately, or not even available, but in the same way you could update your phone with different software, if you could update all of your equipment with the most modern stuff, right? We would be off to the races, futuring at that point. We got Zhao lurking with us. Hey, Zhao, it's nice having you. Getting on your bike part was the Queen song that Sam was referencing. Let's leave behind the old world with these old people we've already let go. I don't think it's about old people. I think it's about old ways, right? I think instead of like framing it like let's go of old people, we should let go of the old world and the old ways of doing things, right? Because I've seen, old people get with the new ways of doing things. I've met a 74.5-year-old man who was using AI to make to make poetry. Like one of the poems he read us was, please write me a poem from the perspective of a fly being eaten by a frog. Or something like that. Right? Like, why would you ask that? Why would you ask that? But he did, right? And we read his poetry, with him. He writes his own poetry as well, of course, right? Like he's 75. He's been writing his own poetry. He binds his own books, literally binds his own books in leather, right? Stitches it himself and everything. Like it's Renaissance man. Still, it's like, let's see what these new tools can do, all right? Oh, I can let this tool pretend it's a fly getting eaten by a, by a frog or whatever, right? I don't exactly remember the context of it, or if it was even a frog and a fly, but that's my fractal. Yeah, like the old way would be, no, this is something different. This is bad. Different's bad, all right? I'll never get close to that. He's like, curiosity. Showing up with that curiosity. Right? Not showing up with the old ways, showing up with the new way. It's always a new way. Not just now. There you go, co-creator. Exactly. There you go. Hoopties. You're getting it, bro. Tooth. Maybe we need to let go of the new world too. Ooh, Nanshi. Nonsense, Nan. I'm fantasizing faster than my need for sanity. Sounds good, dude. And maybe change wine into water while you're at it. I'll have some. Hey, that freaking hummingbird coming and checking on me here makes me happy. Can confirm recreational dissociation is far better than remaining in a reality where no one crowding. Doesn't matter to me. I don't live in a world where I think about it at all. But maybe that is dissociation. Or at the very least, I just don't associate with it. Yes. Yes, winning. Winning. On the other hand, there's nothing more potent for a bar's particular kind of magic than fascism. Exactly. It's material, ripe for the using. Okay, you've got a point, Sam. You should challenge Melt to a philosophical duel. Philosophical duel. That could be fun. Man, we agree so often. It would be fun. It wouldn't be fun for you guys. That's actually kind of funny as well. Yeah, worm being eaten by a turtle. Joe remembers. Yeah, worm being eaten by a turtle. He talked about how there's another end of the poem where the worm eats the turtle, where the worms, eat the turtle eventually, right? After the turtle eventually dies and returns to the ground and is eaten by the worms. Each generation. Yeah, that's something he added in his own mind after the poem was written. He was like, yeah, but he didn't get this part, and then he added that part about the turtle getting eaten. Each generation thinks some of the things they do are new that the older people used to do. Yeah, just like almost like philosophy. I think philosophy is one of those where people go through an era of self-discovery when they start entering their adulthood. And then the curiosity and novelty of those thoughts kind of fade on them. And they don't really have to consider it anymore. They don't think it's of importance anymore to be actively involved in their minds. And I think that's something we do, young people do, right? They used to do, right? And it's like that for many different things. It's like a type of technology that they stop using. Treat AI the same way you would treat anyone else. Ask the question. That's what he did. No fear of being mocked. Just did what he wanted to get the view from someone else he's probably pondered on. Anyways, look out. I'm off to catch some Z's. Later, Lord Commander, CJ, may your rest be healing. See you again soon. I thank you, friends, for joining me. What a pleasure it was sharing in this space today. Where are my cards? Oh, they're in here, aren't they? Joe have found a place for my cards to be. They do fit. They do fit. I do have to shimmy them out. I should sleeve my cards. I should measure them and purchase some sleeves. You know what? You know what? I can say it all I want, but I can only do it once. Nice. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. You sleep well now, CJ. You get some rest. We'll be here again next time, dear friend. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Three inches by 5 inches. That's so many. I do not need 600. Yeah, these are Ultra Pro. These look like they have some thicker plastic on them, but they're $10 for 25 pieces. These are too big. They're gonna be too wide. Is this the one? 3 by 5. Fine. I have successfully found the product that I want. No more lollygagging. It's done. Sweet. Very soon I will have card sleeves. I've been postponing it. That's the part of me that's sentimental, you know. I individually, what you call it, laminated each of these and cut them out meticulously. It was excruciating, but I knew it was for a reason. These cards would be destroyed by now if I've been using them just like barebacked. Shame. They would literally have been in smithereens. Heart of the cards, time to duel. Putting the cards in that box was definitely an ADHD. Oh, look how perfectly this fits here, rather than a pragmatic, they don't belong in here. Yeah, that is pretty funny. I'm happy that I instantly knew where they were, right? It is a good box. It's not a box that I would want to decorate because it's gonna also fall apart soonish. But it's a good box size-wise, I guess. Like, it does fit pretty well. Pretty well in there. But now I have some sleeves on their ways. That's gonna be an experience. Maybe we can sit and slowly but surely cut these out of these. And you can see some of them I've like been frayed, so I probably just have to pull here. Don't do that. Not yet. Your sleeves are not here yet, though. You ready to tell me to stop? If you tell me stop, I will do so. And the card that my thumb touches will be the one that I pull. Could be you. Send me a thought, send me a message. Put into the world what you want. What is it you would like to hear? I would like to hear stop. Personally, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a good old stop up in chat. Hey. Hey. Zhao and Sam Stop basically came through at the same time. You know, this one feels special. Antakanara. I saw Hoopy with an Antakanara as a thumbnail one time, I think. Yay. Those little sticky wikis. The Antakanara. Card number 26. A bridge. That's the core meaning of this card. It's just bridge. The Antakanara is an ancient healing and meditation symbol that has been used in Tibet and China for thousands of years. It is the part of the spiritual anatomy that connects the physical brain and the higher self. It is a bridge of light that aids in your connection to higher dimensions. It is said that the Antakanara has its own consciousness, and that merely being in its presence will raise a person's vibration and assist in healing and personal evolution. Connecting with your higher self will offer insights into virtually any question or inquiry that you may have. The Antakanara may be seen as a direct link between your thoughts and your intuitive nature. It is the result of the interaction between matter and consciousness. Meditate with this image. Relax deeply and give attention to your breath. Sit quietly and open to intuition and insight. Let this time act to strengthen the connection between thought and intuition. Realize the capacity for growth and healing that you possess. The answer to your inquiry will come through your ability to bridge the material world and the realm of spirit. You may wish to make a copy of this shape and place it beside your computer or in your healing space. Whenever you notice it, acknowledge your connection to higher self and the wisdom that is always available through that communication. This card does feel like something to me. Maybe it is the reading that adds that quality. But it is neat to think. The Antakanara. Okay. The bridge between the physical realm and spirit. Got lost for a minute out there. Yeah. Yeah. I was looking at it. Maybe I can share my experience internally. I was really looking at it. And then I would do that thing where my eyes would defocus and the image would separate into two distinct images. And then when I realized that was happening, I would try to bring this edge to this edge. Alright, this edge to this edge as this image was separated into two. And then when I would do that, when I would get that line just right, I would lose the entire picture. This thing would disappear. And then it will reappear as one, and then it will reappear as the other, and then it will disappear again. And then it will like peek out, and then reappear as one, and then reappear as the other, and then see it like as the two that I brought together, and then disappear again. And I was like, neat. Why is that happening? I think it's one of those things where thinking about the mind as a prediction algorithm, and then when you look at something in a way that it can't predict, suddenly you stop, then shake, then stop. You focus enough energy to turn the mic off. Back again. My mics are dead. You missed all of that? How much of that did you miss? You focused enough energy. Okay, you did hear about me focusing. But then the mic went off instantly. You need to do a really good card shuffle, maybe on a table, and mix them all around, then shuffle. When I get my new sleeves, Nancy, they will be just quiet there. All of it, okay. Stream keeps cutting out for me. I think my just kid went down for a nap. 2 hours early, lucky. Look at you. And they say miracles don't happen in the modern times, Sam. Look at you, miracle living. And disciple, getting blessed with all of the miracles. We heard, just a little quiet. Awesome. Is that a good thing, Sam? perfect timing in that case. I think so. I think it's a good thing. Trust. I think you're right about shuffling it properly, Nancy. We have definitely not been getting the full deck. I do believe that it's just because the deck has been wanting to say its own thing. And I think we've been pulling this deck for so long that all of the cards feel very explored at this point. It might be time for me to get another Francine Hart deck. Watch, watch. I can be a consumer. I can consumerism. Watch. Watching. Watch Francine Hart. Please tell me they're affordable. Please, Francine Hart. I want to give you my money. Yay. Yay. 27 Dara? I have 27 Daras. I have 27 Daras. This deck was published in 2001. Yay, they look cool. Man, am I gonna spend more money? Why, American consumers? Why is it so easy? I like these. I like them. Lekker. Look, look. Look. You can see it's Francine Hart's work. Put a thin nos. You haven't seen those cards, have you? That one looks familiar to what we have in our deck. But she definitely knows what you do. This was 2001. This was 2001. Oh! Bamboozled! They fucking bamboozled me. You have to pay extra to get the cards? Now it's $50. Now I don't have enough money to do that. Yeah. Yeah. $50. $50 is a lot of dollars. $27. I was like, yeah, I can buy this book again. You want to see what the red used to look like? Check half price books melt. They carry tarot. Oh, where am I gonna do that? Where am I doing that? I don't know. Is half price books store? Ooh. Just the cards? Hardcover. Oh, this is just the book. It's a lot of her work though in this book. Francine Hart's work does make me happy. It is pretty. She makes pretty stuff. Tisk, tisk, tisk. I was ready. I was ready to do it. It seems like it's the last one of her decks. Oh, I can get the cards. I can buy my own deck again for 26 bucks. But if I want to buy that other deck, I have to pay 50. I still want to. Part of me still wants to get them. Still half of me. Then a good thing I said. No, it is not. Because now he's not gonna make it to bedtime and he's gonna need to nap and he's gonna stay up longer. Ah, my bad. Not a blessing. Reverse blessings. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I hope that it's okay. My leery-eyed on the couch, having to prop my eyes open with toothpicks while my child runs. Hippie plans. At least he's getting jacked, I'm sure. Yeah, it's a store. Find it in your area. Give them a call. Look for a deck of Oracle cards. They'll have to search for you if they have any location that has it. Yeah, that is probably the big bottleneck. Let's see where the closest one is to me. Yeah, the closest one is in Louisville, so that's an hour away. It can be done though when we go to Louisville again at some point, I guess. I don't know if I would want to use someone else's deck is the thing. Maybe they never used it, so maybe it won't be a big deal. They got Mad Men season 1. It's one of the photos that I saw. No, no, I don't need more cards. I think this one deck of cards is already plenty. Yeah. Yeah. I don't have another box to put my new cards in if I do get them anyway. I didn't have price books. Was a chain store. I didn't realize either, but there's apparently a bunch of them. I didn't know. I'm getting buzzed a lot these days by a yellow single prop plane. Shelving books. Yes, they have lots of locations here in the US. I worked for them for about 4 years. Fun job. That's one thing. Where I live too, I thought it was a local thing. It's like, oh, this random place sells half price books. Right. You go inside, all of the books are full price. You're like, what? What? How did this happen? I wonder if I can call them on this thing. I don't think I can. Will it let me? I don't have a number. I don't think it will. If I hit this call button and I hit this button, what happens? Okay, yeah, no, I can. Can't call them here. But I feel happy that I showed up here with you friends. Yeah. Yeah, letting go. That's today's stream topic. This is what it looks like. A lesson on letting go. Feel good about it. I wouldn't think about its life before finding you. It's a tool like a hammer or a place idiot. Love is true. Talking about place idiots. Don't let the news worry you. Sending you love. I'll see you friends again soon. Goodbye. Till we do it again. Ta-ta now. Bye. Cheers. Bye-bye.